Welcome back to another episode of Elephant in the Room podcast. I'm your host, Jamitra. I'm here with your co hosts, Chris and Mark. This week, V is out, but she's here with us in spirit. This week, we're going to have a discussion. Our topic of this week is going to be cancel culture. But before we get into the topic of this week, you know how we like to do, we like to check in and hear some feel good stories. So we'll kick it off with you, Mark. What could happen to you this week?
Um, well, I took leave Thursday and Friday,
Hey, time
so
off.
get some time off. My wife's birthday was Sunday, not Sunday. I'm sorry, Monday.
Happy
So
birthday, Miss
she,
Happy birthday,
Trina.
Kay.
so we got pretty intoxicated. Well, I did at least. But but yeah, I just been chilling this week. Like nothing really special besides that.
Okay, how about you, Chris?
So this week, of course, it was Father's Day, so I got to spend time with my wife and my son, and then also it was my oldest's birthday, so his birthday was the day before Father's Day, so I got to, spend time with him as well at his birthday party. It was really good to, have everybody there and spend time with everybody once again. So just have
That's
fun this
good.
weekend.
That's what's
Good
up.
Yeah.
family and birthdays and happy birthdays to all of your families. All
Yep.
right, and V is traveling, so that's why she's not here with us. But I'm certain her feel good story would be surrounded also in the realm of family and just getting some time off to enjoy ourselves with our families. So now we're gonna go into our song of the week. Anybody want to throw out their
So
song?
I once again going trying to piggyback off of last week. I think I'm gonna go with an album. So for
Oh,
some
okay.
reason today I was blasting Meat Mill's wins and losses. Like the
Okay.
whole album to me is something that I just like. I'm not saying that I could connect with, but it just like I vibe to that whole album from start to finish. So
Are you a Meat Mill
uh,
fan?
I'm a big Meat Mill fan. Like his energy, his the way he delivers stuff. It starts off low and then it's high at the end. I'm high on that. So
Okay.
I'm gonna
I
go with
feel it.
wins and losses.
All right. How about you, Mark?
Well, first off, Chris, let me say that intro to that album is fucking crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
it is.
I
It
I
is.
love that intro right there. I've been
Yeah.
bumping a lot of Dave East this week.
Oh, okay.
Like,
That's a different, took a different route.
yeah.
Been bumping, what have you been listening to? What have you been playing? What songs have you been playing?
I've been playing that Russia
Okay.
by Dave East and that joint he got with Jeezy.
All right.
Oh, I gotta
Paranoia.
listen to
Yeah,
that. Gotta listen
yeah.
to
It
that.
rides, bro. It rides for
Yeah.
real, though, bro.
All right. I was hanging over in R&B town early in the wee hours of this morning. I was revisited Maya, and she did the theme song for the Rugrats movie with Blackstreet,
Oh yeah.
the "Take Me There"
Uh-huh.
jam. So
Yeah.
I revisited. I heard it was in my shelf, and I was like, oh my god, I remember this song. And it brought me back to like childhood. So yeah, that's my song.
I fucking love Maya's sexy ass. But go ahead. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Continue. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
Continue.
it's fine. Maya
Oh
is
man.
very fine. And she's gang, old, but well, she's not even old. I wouldn't call her old, but she's definitely not. She's giving the 20-year-olds a run for their money. So
Oh yeah,
absolutely,
definitely.
Maya is
Definitely.
absolutely
Oh hell yeah. Mm-mm.
okay. We can
Mm-mm.
always count on you, Mark.
Always.
Oh.
All right. Well, speaking of music, let's jump right into our topic of the week is cancel culture. Um, for those of you who don't know, right? Because it's very possible that some people don't even understand what this is. Cancel culture is basically when collectively we decided someone has done something that is just completely against our codes, our morals, and we say that we're not going to support them in ways that we would support them. That we used to support them. So, for example, Kanye West, right? When Kanye West advocated for Donald Trump. He became the culture tried to cancel him, say don't listen to his music, don't support his businesses. Obviously, none of that worked, as he has become one of the richest men ever.
Clearly.
Um, Canceling Bill Cosby and the Cosby Show, right, got taken off of syndication because of the allegations towards Bill Cosby with sexual harassment, sexual assault. So in arenas like that, there have been times where we collectively get together, and I don't know if it's more so, but I don't know if white people do this because I don't really pay attention to white culture. If there is a white culture, but I know Black people, like collectively, we all decide like either we all collectively don't like someone, and then the consensus is if you don't like this person because of the reason we don't like them, then you're also canceled, right? Am I explaining this correctly, right?
Yeah, yeah, you are.
Yeah.
So
Um,
what, before, tell me, like, give me one of your celebrities or people that everyone was like, we're gonna cancel them, and you were like, I don't care, I'm still gonna fuck with them. Who's somebody that you were like, I don't really care, I'm not canceling this person?
Who? Well, first I'm gonna say R. Kelly. Like,
Oh, you bold right out the gate. So you just gonna drag the
like,
elephant right up in here, huh?
I'm not saying what he did was right, and I don't validate it as being right, but he got some dope ass music. Like, I'm sorry, like I still listen to mostly all his albums. Like, man had some talent.
So you
It's just,
believe that you can separate the art from the artistry,
of course,
or the art from the artist?
of course. I mean, people wanted Dave Chappelle canceled, and I still watch his shit. So,
Why was Dave Chappelle being canceled?
but people was talking about how offensive he was and stuff with his skits and stuff.
But it wasn't nothing he had morally done. It was just
But
like
yeah.
comedy,
It
right?
wasn't that he morally done. It was just that he.
Versus, okay, so R. Kelly is very controversial. Like,
It is.
yeah,
It
R.
is.
Kelly is
I
a
don't think it gets
very
bigger than R.
artistic
Kelly when it comes to
art.
cancel culture.
Yeah. Um. Okay. Well, so you're actively like still playing his songs, and like if R. Kelly had a concert tomorrow, you would go.
I ain't gonna say all that.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
let me just say, like, if I'm like listening to music and it's on
Hmm.
shuffle and R. Kelly comes on, I'm turning it up. I'm not gonna skip it.
Okay.
Like, oh, like this is fucking R. Kelly. Like, what the fuck? Like,
Okay.
I don't. I ain't saying I don't care what he did, but like,
Do you do you so you're not one of those people who are like, I can't listen to this song because when I'm listening to the song, I'm thinking about, is he singing to like a younger person, or you don't think like that? You're just like, this is a really great song and I like the song too.
yeah. Like, I ain't never like trying to like say like, okay, like he's talking about a 14, 15-year-old girl. I'm like, this is music and it's dope. So
Okay.
I'm gonna
How
keep
about
fuck.
you? How about you, Chris? Who's an artist
So
that you just refuse? You don't care who's canceling him. You're not going to cancel them
so
or
I
them,
wouldn't I'm not I'm actually gonna switch over from music to an actor.
or yeah,
So
anything.
Kevin Hart, for a short period of
You
time.
guys are just you just
Yeah.
bring all the elephants straight out the gate.
So I don't know if everybody remembered there was a short period of time where people wanted Kevin Hart canceled because of a comment that he made about his child playing with Barbie dolls, and he was like, he basically said, and I quote, "Stop it, that's gay," about his son playing with Barbie dolls, and so it had to do with him hosting the Oscars, and he wouldn't apologize for the comment, and I think the problem that people are having is you can't sit here and expect everybody to just line up and play to your beat of the drum. Okay, people are always going to have differences of opinions. So for him to say that, I mean, you don't have to like him, but as far as stopping his revenue from coming in, or stuff like that, I think it's kind of taking it too far overboard. So
Mm.
as far I I have my own personal views when it comes to the alphabet community and the cancel culture and stuff like that. If you're gonna sit here and put people in a microscope, and they at the moment they try to step outside of your microscope, it's the end for them. Then you yourself, you need to be on the straight and narrow yourself. Like I don't know
Okay.
I don't know
So
anything
difference
about
in
the
opinion. So you're saying that you didn't cancel him because he was having a difference in opinion,
exactly.
and that it's okay for other people to have the difference of opinion.
Right.
Um, so with people in the entertainment industries, right? We notice that when they get canceled, their revenue, right? That's the point. The point is to kind of like have an impact on their revenue, on their lifestyle, to kind of like make a statement that says, hey, well, if you're not going to if your morals or your values don't align with mine, then I'm
Hmm.
financially not going to support you, so you can't be in the limelight like globally being able to say these things because they
Right.
sometimes people find them offensive, right?
Hmm.
um do you think that in forgiveness, we've seen like celebrities be quote unquote canceled, and then some of them can come back from it,
Hmm.
right? So like Kanye West is like the perfect example. People, as soon as he like said anything about Donald Trump, everybody was done with him because he was. I would like to say he was like one of the first celebrities that came back out to like full on endorse Donald Trump when everyone else was like, this is crazy, right? This man is insane.
Hmm.
And so Kanye West has like been through all that. And do you think there's like a period of the cancel culture where someone says, hey, maybe I was wrong, right? So I don't want to put any words in Kanye West's mouth, but maybe like, do you think he went through a period he was like, oh, whatever I was thinking was wrong, and so now that I don't think that way anymore, I can become uncanceled? Do you think that
So
occurs? Like,
so I'm gonna use a perfect I'm gonna use a perfect I guess example of somebody being canceled, even though black people really didn't mess with her. I'm gonna say Omarosa. All right. Remember
okay,
how
I
Omarosa
love
when
Omarosa.
she
That's my
first
girl.
like yeah, she first was like, Trump is this, Trump is that, he's the greatest president alive. And then she gets kicked out of the White House, and then all of a sudden, oh
Yeah.
man, he's the worst, he's the racist, and he's this and he's that. Well, during that period of time, black people really wasn't really okay. Omarosa's canceled or nothing like that, but they really wasn't rocking with her. But then
Mhm.
I don't think she was able, so to speak, she wasn't welcome back to the barbecue, but people wasn't pushing her away either. It was okay, you're not just this evil person that we thought you were, but you still not cool with the homies, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you.
So
Okay. So I'm glad that you brought Omarosa because this presents I guess, a different splice. It presents like this is a multi-layered, obviously, topic.
yeah.
So when we talk about like again on the forgiveness part, right? So we know like Stacey Dash, Chrisette Michelle, even Omarosa, like anybody, even Waka Flocka's mama, anybody that these are all women, right? Black women
Yeah.
who have
Mm.
said something controversial, done something extremely controversial. Do you think that when we cancel celebrities, men, we are more easily able to overlook when men do things that they should be canceled for versus women? Because there kind of seems to be like a trend here, right?
Yeah.
Where no one ever now even wants to hear anything about Chrisette Michelle, although she did nothing short of what Kanye West did. But Kanye West is over here selling out Yeezys, trying to seal his deal with Gap, and we're still playing 808s and Heartbreaks, right? But
Yeah.
nobody wants to play Chrisette Michelle song. Do you think we're easier to forgive or overlook when men do things that they should be canceled for far easily than we do women?
Mm.
So
Mm-mm-mm.
So me, I'm gonna chime in first. So I'm gonna say no. I think it's not a. I don't think it's a gender thing. I think it's a status thing because think about it. Chrisette Michelle, nobody really listening to Chrisette Michelle until
Oh, the
uh
Chris. Oh.
uh well, yeah, I'm just saying like on a large scale.
Yeah, I
I'm talking
understand. Like,
about
yeah, on
like
a
nobody was really
large.
paying attention to her until Rick Ross and Drake came out with uh what was that?
Ashton Martin music.
Ashton Martin music. Yeah. So
That's
you could
not
say
true. But keep
I, I
going.
I'm just saying on a large scale. Now everybody,
Okay.
you can go to another corner of the earth and they know who Kanye West is. The same with who else endorsed Trump? Lil Wayne. They wanted to cancel Lil Wayne. But you can go
Yeah,
on the other side of the earth and you best believe somebody over there knows who Lil Wayne is. You go to that same place, they don't know who Chrisette Michelle is.
that's fair. Okay, that's a fair assessment. That status
What you
might be
what you
more of
think,
an
bro?
issue than.
I agree with you, but I'm gonna look at it from a different angle.
Okay.
Like, for example, like I see these vines on Facebook all the time with like women touching guys like butts and stuff,
Hmm.
Hmm.
and people think that it's funny.
Hmm.
Let the roles be reversed, and it's a guy doing it to women. What are we gonna
Hmm.
say?
That's sexual harassment.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
so stuff like that I see like on Facebook or other social media platforms. I'll be like, really? Like that's funny to y'all? But if it's
Yeah.
a guy, everybody be screaming like, "Oh, that's sexual harassment, this, that, and the third." And I
Yeah.
don't think that's right, you know.
I
But
mean,
that's the
you
world
gotta
we
look.
live in.
Yeah, because look in what was it, 2016, 2017, when Donald Trump's tape came out, everybody was ready to cancel him. Like this guy's a pervert.
Yeah,
He wound
you
up
got you got a
being
point there.
he wound up being the president of the United States, number 45. So, like I think, like I said, I think when it comes to cancel culture, I think it's more of the stature. If you're high stature, I'm not gonna say that's the case for everybody. Because look, everybody and their mama know Bill Cosby. Like, come on,
Right.
man.
Yeah.
Like even racists know Bill Cosby. So he might be the anomaly when it comes to cancel culture because they took Cosby show off TV. So um, the only thing I see from the Cosby show, I was watching A Different World earlier today, and there
I
was
love
there
different.
was Rudy was on there, Denise was on there, everybody was on there except for Bill Cosby. So, but but if you look at somebody like Harvey Weinstein, they canceled him quick, fast, and in a hurry. You haven't heard from him since.
Yeah.
Um, Kevin Spacey, when it comes to House of Cards, they moved him
Yeah.
off fast. So, I'm not saying it's sexist or it's a gender thing. I truly believe it has to do with your stature. And
Do you, has
yeah,
there ever been a time where cancel culture has happened in your immediate circle? Like, have you ever canceled someone and like got them canceled or blacklisted? We call it blacklisted. Have you ever done that like in within your own circle? Maybe
Mm-mm.
in your workspace, has that happened where you've had a slight disagreement with someone, or you felt like they were morally against code, and so you kind of like got them ousted from
Yes,
from
that's happened to me a couple of times.
oh
It's
wow,
happened to you. Were you the one who were ousted? Were you the
No, I
got
was the
canceled?
one doing I'm the one that did
Canceled.
it
Of course.
because yeah. No, it was but I had a valid reason though. Like
yeah,
I feel like we can disagree about almost anything, you know.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But when people try to go back and validate, cops killing unarmed people of color,
yeah, yeah,
they're like, well, they had this criminal record, they did this prior. I was like, I don't care what you say. They didn't have a weapon. They weren't a threat, and they were
yeah.
like, I went back and forth with these people. I don't know why, but I was getting my point across.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I had to be like, look, I ain't fuck with you no more. They try to speak me afterwards, like, what I do to you? Like, motherfucker, you know what you did.
Okay.
Like
Yeah,
your racism showing. Like, no, because if you feel that way about them, I know how you feel about me.
true.
Okay. So
And I mean,
cancel for
for a minute, I was sitting here thinking like, if I ever cancel somebody, and since you brought that up, yeah, there has been a couple people where, um, even if I disagree with you, certain through certain things, um, that topic is you know that's a no go for me. If you sit here in any
Right.
way, shape, or form and condone people dying, when they shouldn't be dying, that's it. That's it. Like, it's not even, to me, it didn't feel like cancel culture. It felt like, even, it felt like I disagreed with you, you disagree with me, but that's something
Mm-hmm.
that I can't just sit here and be cool with. I can't chuck it up with you later on, knowing you have these feelings about the stuff that's going on in the world. Like, you think it's okay for people to die at the hands of other people simply because of an infraction.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Okay.
that, if that is considered cancel culture, then by all means, yes, I've definitely canceled some people.
I think um I think culture can appear like in two different ways, in two different spaces. So there's individually, right? We cancel people all the time. Like, I don't like how you do the X, Y, Z. Boom, you're cut. I'm the
Yeah.
queen of cutting. So I don't like how you do boom, you're out, cancel. And then there's like the collective level where, like, maybe like at your job where you partially created a coup, or like, just something outlandish where you've
Ooh.
gotten people just like cornered and you're like, you know what, you're doing something really effed up. I can cuss on this podcast. You're doing something really
Yeah.
fucked up.
The-
And, and we don't like what you're doing. And so not only are we going to cancel, you're going to make sure that you're just like having a hard time in life. What do you think the most dumbest thing to get canceled? Or what do you think is like the most dumbest thing to get canceled over? What do you think
I
like is
seen
like that's dumb?
I seen these cartoons. You're gonna cancel. So my son Landon, he loves. Well, at a certain time, he loved Paw Patrol, but he grew up from that, right? They
Mm.
canceled Chase because he was a cop. Like, he's a cartoon, and you're gonna take a cartoon cop dog at that off a TV show because of the environment that's going on that these kids are oblivious to. Most kids
Do you
who's
think
watching,
do you think the children are oblivious? You don't think they're aware, abreast of what's going on in the world
I'm not gonna
for
say
children?
all of them, but majority of the kids that's watching Paw Patrol are like anywhere between, I want to say like 3 to 5 or 6. They're not, they might not be totally oblivious to it, but they haven't caught on to the adult world that we living in right now. Like, truthfully, at a certain point, I'm gonna include Landon on what's going on around him in this world, so that way he doesn't grow up to be naive. But at the same time,
Okay.
Right.
I don't want to rob him of his childhood.
Okay. How
If
about
you're
you, Mark? What's like the
okay,
dumbest thing that you're like, this is so dumb. I can't believe y'all are trying to cancel somebody for this.
um, I say, that's a good question. Honestly, it's so much to choose from. Like,
you know,
okay, you got like athletes who are being counseled for speaking up for black people,
Mm-hmm.
or people want to counsel some, celebrities for their political party. Like, I'm not saying that Donald Trump is racist. I'm not saying that he's not, you know, but some people are
Well, what are you
just,
saying then?
huh?
No, I'm just kidding. Keep going.
But some people are just like, like you crazy. Some people are just Republicans at heart. Like, I
right?
met some people who, they told me like, hey, I'm voting for Donald Trump because of this. In 2016, a lot of people wasn't feeling Hillary Clinton. And I mean, I don't blame them because like we had some shitty choices in 2016.
Definitely
2020 as
did.
well, but we ain't gonna talk about that. But
Yeah.
people don't know that there's another party. People are just stuck on the Democrats. They go Democrats or the Republicans. They don't know like, hey, it's a third choice. Like if you ain't feeling neither one of those, go with the third one. You know. I just think like unless people share their views that the politicians share, like some of the shit Trump said was uncalled for. Not gonna lie, but you gotta respect him for speaking his mind, regardless of how you feel about him. He said what the fuck he wanted. You know.
Okay. Well,
Let's. But go ahead.
well, I didn't mean to cut you off, but while we're talking about this, right?
Hmm.
I do you think that there can be like uh goodness that comes from cancel culture, right? So again, getting back to the if enough people are saying, hey, maybe your view is screwed, right? Like maybe whatever you're thinking, if enough of us can convince you that to look at something a different way, and then you're able to assess and change your mind. Do you think that there's goodness in cancel culture? Like it can be used as a tool to not necessarily change people, but to get people to be more flexible in their beliefs and their values?
Yes, but I think it depends. Like I'm gonna give you an example. Let's say there's a TV show or something that's all white cast or all black cast.
Mhm.
If they cancel it and redo it with more diversity, I think that's a good thing. You know?
Me personally, I'm gonna say nothing good comes out of cancel culture, and here's the reason why. If if everybody wants their views only, then there would be no arguments. There would be no um nothing would be fixed. It's hey, it's my views only. That's the only thing that matters. If you don't align with my views, then I don't want to I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to buy your merchandise. I don't want to buy your product, nothing like that. So the whole cancel culture thing when it first popped up, I was like, what is this? Like, why are people so upset that something is not aligned with them? Now, don't get me wrong. There are some things with cancel culture that they actually um they have good reasoning for, i.e., sexual assault, sexual harassment, rape, racist views, stuff like that. That stuff is okay if you're like, hey, I don't want to do this because the person did this or this, did this or that. That's fine. But as far as you know, causing an uproar because Pepe Le Pew was kissing on I, I forgot what he was kissing on as a cartoon when we were kids. And now they think that he was raping or he was sexually being too forward with a cartoon. That's where things start to
Mm.
like, really, this is what we're arguing about. We got people who can't afford to buy food, but we're arguing about a cartoon skunk being forward.
Yeah, I agree with you, bro. Like,
So
cause some shows like Family Guy should have been canceled.
exactly.
But I
Exactly.
fucking love it. I love Family Guy though. I
Right,
ain't gonna even lie
right.
to you. Like I'm not offended because they really pick at everybody. It's not like they
Yeah,
just stay on like one topic or one group of people the whole time. Like they,
right.
So you're a fan. Are you also a fan of South Park? Are you a South Park?
yes, I
Yeah.
love South Park too.
And you know what I
Okay.
think that does? It robs people of the many different types of type of humor out there. There's dark humor.
Right.
There's all types of different humor. But if you watching a South Park episode and you're offended, then you start an uproar. Oh, South Park offended me because they're talking about homosexuality and it's in a negative light. Then you're you're just taking away the I'm not gonna call it just raw fun, but you're taking away the differences in this world.
Well, I agree with what you're saying, but
Yeah.
people got a choice whether they want to watch it or not. You ain't gotta
Exactly.
watch
If
South Park.
yeah, you don't just turn the
You ain't gotta
channel.
watch Family Guy. Just turn the
So
damn
don't
TV.
you think that aligns? So that kind of that ties directly into cancel culture, which is, listen, I don't like what you're talking about, so I'm just not going to like watch it or give you know any of my energy, any of my resources to what you're trying to do because I don't like what it is saying, how it's making me feel, or the offense that it's bringing.
Right.
So it's kind
Right.
of
Yeah.
like the same thing, right? Saying someone has a choice not to watch is also the same thing, kind of as saying that we're cancel culture is a tool, if you will. It's always an option for
So I
everyone
think
to use.
so. I also believe the only thing that gives cancel culture like the fire is when people are vocal about it. Like you just said, if I don't want to watch South Park and I'm offended, then I just don't
Mhm.
watch it. And I'm not gonna go on Facebook and be like, oh, South Park offended me today, so I'm just not gonna watch it. Cause then you get some
Okay.
smart ass like me that come right behind you with a simple comment that says okay with some dots behind it. Who cares? If you don't want to watch it, then don't watch it.
Do
Like,
you think that cancel culture is the result of social media, or do you feel like in the 90s cancel culture was the thing where celebrities, even though there wasn't like how we used to get our media back like in the 90s before social media and technology was like a really big thing, at the newsstands they have like the little magazines and it's like telling people's business. You don't really know if it's true or not.
Mhm.
The tabloids and stuff like that. Do you think that cancel culture is a result of social media, or do you feel like it was around then, just like we were aware of it?
Well, I'm gonna say people back then were a lot tougher. Like they
yeah,
weren't.
yeah.
They didn't get their feelings, or didn't get offended so easily back then. But
Hmm.
also in the same light, social media does have a lot to do with that because like everybody got social media these days. People can share stuff like, oh, this cartoon came over in the '90s, but we never saw this. I think a lot of people post stuff to be like relevant. Like
Okay.
they like, let's cancel this, let's cancel that. I'm like, why the hell y'all cancel a cartoon from the '80s and '90s?
Yeah,
You think they're
Like,
bored, have anything else to do?
yeah, a lot of people are like,
yeah.
well, this whole cancel culture shit, it's getting ridiculous. Cause some of the shit
Right.
they cancel, I'm like, really, you're offended by that? I like what they see as offensive. I might be like, hey, that shit's hilarious, or I don't see what the problem is.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's just like, okay, so think about it. And to answer your question, yes, it is, to me, it is a result of social media because here's why. 90 95, when OJ quote unquote did it, right? If social media was around, OJ would have been found guilty.
How so?
No
How do you
doubt.
think?
You said how do I know?
Yeah. How do you think?
Because
Why do you think that?
all it takes is for somebody with some conspiracy theorist to get on social media and come with their version of what they think happened, and next thing you know, some juror who's not supposed to be paying attention to the media, they see that and that sways their judgment. Okay, maybe if the glove did, even if the glove didn't fit, it's his blood that's there, type stuff. All it takes is for a stream of conspiracies to get together for somebody to say that that's their truth. So if social
Um,
media had been around in the 90s, we wouldn't have the childhood that we had.
Yeah.
yeah, I get what you're saying, bro, but at the
Yeah.
same time, like
Hmm.
when you say with like conspiracies and stuff like
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
like I don't see some wild shit about this whole COVID outbreak. Like
Oh,
crazy
Are
yeah.
we bringing the
conspiracies.
elephant? Are we bringing another elephant in?
Like
Definitely.
5G,
Definitely.
5G is the big one. People say that 5G causing COVID.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
I do
You know,
recall
So like I get what
Yeah.
you're saying, bro. Like some people can be swayed a lot more easier than others.
because of social
But
Yeah.
media.
yeah, but some of that shit that they be saying, you just sit there and look at it, you like, what the fuck? Like, do you just like think of this shit by yourself? Like, where
I
are
don't
your
know.
facts? You doing based all this off of opinions and
Right.
because you don't like a person or because you don't like the current like person in power, so you want to try to make them look bad. I
Yeah.
forgot who started the whole 5G shit causing COVID, but it's been some articles I've seen on Facebook floating around about it, and
It was probably the phone companies battling each other, like,
you
because you
know,
got to
bro,
think
like
T-Mobile was the first one with 5G, so it was probably AT&T talking about 5G is causing COVID.
for real though. So I
Yeah,
mean,
Hey,
I get exactly what you're saying, Chris, but at the same time, I think some of the shit that's posted about
hmm,
conspiracies is bullshit. You know.
well,
maybe.
have you ever been canceled, like on social media? Have you ever said something just so controversial that like
Oh yes.
you lost a whole
Mm.
bunch of friends, followers, or I mean, like obviously, like racism. When we speak about racism, like obviously that usually gets decisions out quick and fast. But
Right.
for like non-racist things, like just for like maybe you were like, oh, I love this cartoon, or I love this TV show, or I love this, and people were like, oh my god, I can't believe it, you're getting canceled. We don't talk to you anymore. You're like, have you done? Has that ever happened?
Yes,
Yeah.
all the time. And I'm gonna tell you, like y'all both my Facebook friends. Y'all see the
Yeah.
stuff I post.
Yeah.
Like I think the most recent thing I got deleted by somebody for was for the memes I post. I post a future that gives like relationship advice. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
like stuff like that. Like first off,
Yeah. Why do you do that? No, just kidding. I'm just kidding.
yo, you know what I do? I do it to stir the pot. Like
I
I
know
got me
you
a
do.
big
I
ass
know.
pot of shit
It's
to stir,
so
and I just stir it,
messy.
and I don't
It's
even
so messy.
care. Like I post stuff for like people don't know. Like you gonna react that way, you
Yeah.
took the bait. You
Right.
know,
So
Right.
like
you're a devil. Are you devil's advocate? Are you
I
advocating for
look,
devil?
look. I ain't gonna make nobody hang themselves, but I'm handling the rope.
Oh
You know what I'm
Shit.
saying? Like if they want to do that, that's them. Like I'm not. I don't censor nothing. Like when I first came on social media, I didn't post like a lot of stuff because of my parents.
God.
You
Yeah.
know, but after a while, I was like, yo, mom and daddy know who they raised. They shouldn't be surprised.
Sorry.
Like they should be surprised. Like they know,
Right.
y'all know what kind of, I won't say the N word. You know what kind of guy I am. Like
Yeah.
Okay.
I post whatever I want to now, and
So
Yeah.
you get
like
canceled because you're out here offending people with relationship advice.
he said those are jokes though. I'm like, yo,
And
if like
and
y'all see,
and I think
go ahead.
that's where people nowadays where their feelings are so caught up in stuff. Like most of the time, and like you said, we all Facebook friends, so we know
Hmm.
Mhm.
what each other posts. Like, and naturally we laugh at each other's jokes because
Exactly.
you can't take that type of stuff serious. Certain stuff you can take serious, i.e., racism, sexual assault, sexual harassment, stuff like that, right? But if it's something like a future meme on some type of relationship stuff, just know off the top it's a joke. So if you're
Right.
taking a joke too serious, then you probably don't need to be on social media because
Do you
there's times.
think?
Oh, huh?
No, go ahead with what you were saying.
I was about to say there's times where I've said jokes like that, and people come hit me, in my DM like, "Hey, bro, that's not funny." I'm like, if you don't like it, then you can unfollow me. And that's where, to be honest, I've never been canceled because, well, if I have, I don't know about it because and the people you may know, I've never seen somebody that I was friends with and then next week I'm not. So I don't know if I
Okay.
have been canceled or not. But if you don't like my content, then don't follow me. You don't have.
Like, so we're on the topic of canceling people, getting canceled for saying things
Uh,
that appear to be offensive, right,
Hey,
on
hey,
social media.
Nicole, I don't mean to cut you off, but did you share your story already about like how you been in Facebook jail about like
Oh, bro, come
This
on
people?
now.
podcast isn't about me.
No,
This is
no,
about you guys.
no,
You know we
no.
all been in
I
Facebook jail.
just want. I just think you should share your story.
This
No,
is
but
definitely not about me.
no,
This
but
is definitely about
Nicole,
you
when she
guys.
go to Facebook jail, she do time. You hear me?
Oh
Like we talk
yeah,
about 30 days plus, bro.
yeah. Hey,
I
that's
no,
crazy. I've
because
never
when I
been.
don't cancel people, I educate and they get mad. That's what happens. People, I educate the peoples, because the peoples don't be knowing the stuff, because they be saying the things, but they don't really be saying the things that need to be said. And
Mhm.
so when I come around and I say the things, and sometimes I don't say them in a PG-13 type of sound, like I don't give it that kid sound. And so somebody gets offended and they report it, and then obviously Facebook's like, yeah, go ahead and just log out for 30. So, and it's fine. I take my talents right on over to Twitter where
Cause you,
I say whatever I want and nothing
cause
happens.
I mean, you out on bail right now, right?
I'm not on bail. I'm on
Okay.
probation. I still got they talk about it's a warning, account warning. I don't know what it says because I don't even care. Because I've learned to take all the things that I really want to say that would get me in Facebook jail and just put them on Twitter. And I live.
Big
I'm
facts.
be having a ball talking to myself.
I was gonna put some money on your book so you got to eat bologna sandwiches.
I appreciate
Right.
that. But the Oatmeal cookies from the commissary, they taste way better than the ones. I don't know what's the difference in the
Y'all
box,
retarded,
but
man.
Right. I feel you.
Okay, but back to the topic of cancel culture, and sometimes we know that people post things and they can be offensive, right?
Mhm.
Because I think I've been on both sides, right? I've been the person where if someone says something like what I feel to be demeaning and offensive, I usually try to have like a guided discussion, and then if things get out of hand, I'm just straight to your throat. But do you think that there are people who just well, sometimes, right? Sometimes some things aren't funny, right? We can agree that there are certain things that just some jokes aren't funny, like they are
Right.
true in nature offensive, right?
Yeah.
So like saying things about people's children, or like saying things about like yesterday or Sunday was Father's Day, so like to make a joke about people who don't have fathers or active fathers, right? That would have been insensitive, right?
Mhm.
In those cases, do you think it's okay to cancel people, or what do you think? Is it like educating them, canceling them? Does canceling them teach them to educate themselves about how they're being offensive when it is completely like unwarranted and unnecessary? I.e., back to my example of making a joke about someone not having a father on Father's Day.
Yeah, it can be insensitive, I think, but sometimes, some people like they get into these, debates or battles with people. They
Mhm.
dish out the insults first
Right.
Yeah.
sometimes, and then
Oh,
sometimes
you forgot to tell me. I know it's so well.
and sometimes people they get hurt by the response.
Yeah.
Like if
Yeah.
somebody come be like, oh, that's why your daddy didn't was never around, blah blah blah, some shit like that. If I come back
Mhm.
like, well, at least I'm a father to my kids and your baby dad ain't around,
That's
Right.
like
fine.
Right.
is that taking it too far, or is that
And so that's what I'm saying. Like, is that like
it, it,
so? I cancel people. I think everybody has like their list of certain things, especially on social media, where you just like, I'm not going to like look at posts like these. I'm not going to like be again. I don't want to be Facebook friends with someone who posts things like these, right? Because they can be offensive stuff that can be offensive, right? So for
Mhm.
me, like, if you say anything about my kids, like, that's
yeah.
probably the line. That's probably the one. I'm pretty much cool with everything else, like, because I could tell a joke, like I could take a joke and I could tell a joke. But if you say anything about my children, like I would just like get canceled, and I will get other people to cancel you too. Like I'm good at that. Like cancel culture, A1. Once I don't like you, I can pretty much get everybody else to stop liking you too. So, like, do you think like there are just instances where people have to be kind of like isolated from the culture to learn that sometimes the things they say or the actions that they portray or that they impact onto the culture are harmful. They need to be isolated so that they can reel it in that that's what is happening. Not so much like we're not trying to support you or we're trying to break your livelihood, but you need some time to be outside of the culture or away from the culture because you're not understanding that the things that you're doing, how they impact the culture.
um. First, I'm a respond to the other one. I mean, as far as canceling somebody because of uh if I said a joke and they feel offended or they come at me about me or mine. First of all, if I crack a joke, I'm well aware of the joke that I cracked and how I might come across offensive to you. But instead of canceling
Okay.
you, I'm going to educate you, and then I'm going to cancel
Okay.
you.
That's
Yeah,
noble.
I'm definitely going to educate you because I learned coming up like I need to understand stuff. So before I run into somebody who doesn't understand, I'm gonna help you understand. So, but then what was the next part? I'm my bad. I forgotten all that. Trying to hold on to that other thought.
To isolating them could be a good way. It's not so much about like canceling them, but getting them to be like for the light for them for like the light to come on. So we know. Do you know Azalea Banks? Right? You know who
Yeah.
Azalea Banks is,
Yep.
Yep.
and how she's been like just completely like problematic through and through and through. And there's at this point there's no really canceling her because like we tried it and it doesn't work. Every time she says something outlandish, we pay attention to her, we critique her, she goes away, she comes back, she says something outlandish, we critique her. So it's like a recurring thing where it's happening and we're constantly like addressing and educating.
hmm So
Do
I'm
you
gonna say what
think
it.
that isolating, just completely isolating someone is like beneficial, like a complete cancel, like we're done? I'm trying to think of somebody who's actually been full on just canceled out and
Well,
we're just like
well.
we're done with you for real.
So
I think
so
like
I'm
Stacey Dash would be as close as I could
so
think.
I got a good one. I got a good one. Candace Owens. Candace Owens has officially been canceled. Period. By every single black person
I
except
don't
for.
think she was ever subscribed. I don't
I mean, I
I don't
don't
think
know.
anybody's ever subscribed to Candace Owens.
Well, you have, truthfully, only reason why I would subscribe to Candace is to basically go after her following, just so they can
No, I mean
understand.
like conceptually. I don't think conceptually. I don't think anybody was with her. Like she
Oh,
didn't in
yeah,
the beginning coming out. She didn't have like it wasn't like she was like
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I don't
Um.
know, Yolanda Adams,
Okay.
where it was like, oh my God, I love you. And then she turned and it was like, oh my God, what happened to
Yeah,
her?
yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't,
She
we weren't like, oh, we love Candace Owens. Oh, Candace Owens let us down. She went to the other side. I don't think
Right.
anybody's ever been behind her.
right.
So then Stacey
I agree.
Dash. Then it would definitely be
Right,
Stacey Dash. But
right.
I don't think I've ever had to. I've never been to a point me canceling a celebrity over stuff because one, I don't hold celebrities at a high regard. I don't because
Okay.
they don't do nothing for me except for entertain me. That's it.
Right.
So, um, but as far as like canceling somebody and trying to isolate them, I'm not a fan of canceling them or using isolation as a means to canceling them. Like I said, I love to educate people, um, so they know from now on. It's not something that's just, well, you don't know
What
what
if
you're
they don't
talking
care?
about.
Like, what if you educate them and they still don't give a shit?
If they don't care, then that's on them. That's just them not choosing to not to not be open minded. That's another thing uh, with cancel culture. That means that you're not open minded at all.
I get
Okay.
what you're saying. Like with me, with my temper, sometimes I don't go for education. I go straight to violence.
My man
Like
chooses violence.
sometimes like I'm not like that. Like if you piss me off, like you don't really like fucked up because I'm a
Yeah,
very like I'm
that's
mellow.
Leo.
I'm
That's
mellow as hell. You know what
Leo
I'm saying?
nature. We're super cool, super relaxed, laid
L-
back.
Like and that's why.
And we love to have like dialogue and discussion as long as it's
Yeah.
respectful. But if you cross
Yep.
that line,
Like all that education shit out the window. Like
we got to be violent. We got to go straight into Power Ranger mode.
it's time to put on ski mask now.
Okay.
Like
Big
the
facts.
education is gone, But
Yeah.
like what you were saying, Chris, with like Candace Owens and stuff. Like
Yeah.
my biggest problem with celebrities, especially black celebrities, is this:
hmm
when they support, let's say, somebody like Trump, That's
Hmm.
cool. You can support Trump. You don't
Hmm.
have to put down the black community to do that.
Yeah,
Agreed.
yeah,
You know, you
definitely.
don't have to be like, well, you know, black people, y'all do this, blah blah. Black Lives Matter is this, and
Hmm.
Juneteenth is stupid. Martin Luther King wasn't a great man. No, shit like that. You don't have to say stuff like that. You say, I
Yeah,
support Trump because of this. You don't have to put down black people to do that.
right,
Like, just
right.
support the dude you want to support, dude, or you want to support something else, like another
Yeah,
racist person. Like, just say you support the person because of that. Don't
right.
put down the black people to show your support. You don't have to do that shit.
Yeah,
You
All
know?
that's true.
right.
That's
Well,
true.
as we are actually getting to the near the end of the episode, we just want to let's recap. So you're still listening to R. Kelly, and
Of course. Wait, hold up. So y'all ain't?
I'm
I'm
not saying
not.
I'm not because I still got tp2.com on my
Okay, let me
playlist.
say
I
this.
got
If it comes up, like if I'm driving, it comes up on the radio, I'm not going to change the channel.
But
If it comes
right.
up in a shuffle, I'm not going to change the channel. But I'm not actively going to search for an R. Kelly song. I don't have any of his songs downloaded. I don't believe I have any of his songs downloaded in my library because I don't go searching to play it, so I don't even remember if it's still in there or not. If there was a concert tomorrow, I wouldn't go.
oh yeah, I
You're
feel
not
you.
gonna. I wouldn't even like. A lot of times, like when everyone's like, "I'm gonna cancel Kanye," I was like, "Okay, you guys have fun." Like I never canceled.
Well, I would
I
say
never
that
canceled Kanye because I
No.
understand like his genius. Like I understand like his brain.
Yeah.
And I never canceled him. But at the same, I wasn't out here like advocating for him either. Like I was on the hush hush. I was like, okay, I'm gonna just play his songs and shut up because like
he got some classic shit. You know, I
Yeah.
think it's been a while since he dropped a decent
because I
album.
didn't want people to think that I wasn't on par with him. I mean, as far as politics are concerned, if you vote Republican or Democrat, I'm not canceling celebrity. I wouldn't cancel celebrity for being a Republican more than I would cancel celebrity for being a Democrat. It's the same thing in my opinion. So
I
I'm not
feel
going
you.
to cancel somebody for supporting Donald Trump. The same way I wouldn't cancel somebody for supporting Kamala Harris because it's same coin, just two different sides.
Right.
So, um, but I'm not going to like be actively out here on social media like, oh my god, like when everybody's like F Kanye West, and then like be in the time like, oh my god, did you guys hear that new Kanye West? Like I would never set myself up like that just because I know how social media works. I'm not dumb enough to be like in the crowd, like the
Yeah,
only
them
one.
motherfuckers is
You know, they
cruel.
have
Yeah.
like pitchforks, and then you're the only one out there with like the Kanye CD, like, hey, have you guys heard this song? Like, I'm not dumb, right? I'm not dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I definitely um I believe in cancel culture. I believe sometimes people just need to be sat down for a period of time so that they can like come to their senses about not necessarily being right or wrong, but at least
Hmm.
being open. Remember, we talked about being open to the thought of there being a different, like two things being true at the same time, right? Two different things
Right.
being
Yeah.
true at the same time. And
And
so I think as a culture, if we can come to accept that two different things can be true at the same time, there will be a lot less cancel culture. But I also
yeah.
believe that some motherfuckers do need to be canceled because they're just out of line.
Yeah.
Like people who do stuff in regards to children,
Oh
um,
yeah.
like
Definitely.
if they're like pedophilia or anything like that, like sexual assault, stuff like that is just like blatantly violent stuff. You know what I'm saying? Or
Hmm.
disgusting stuff like children, anything involving children that's just not like positive shit like that, canceled.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
for
definitely.
sure.
And me, like,
Yeah.
Hey,
listen, the I'm gonna touch on it again, like these alphabet communities, like I get it, y'all want to live, and I have zero problem with y'all living. All right, who am I to tell? Who am I to judge you on what you want to do? But as far as canceling people because they have a different belief, you got to understand people were brought up in an environment that's different than the way you feel like you should be grown, you should be brought up in. So you shouldn't be
Right.
itching to cancel somebody just because they don't want their child to grow up um, wanting to be gay or something like that. It's all about educating them. Okay. You're not gonna sit here and dictate how I choose to bring my son up. If I don't want my son playing with toys with Barbies, then my son's not gonna play with Barbies. Like you shouldn't feel a type of way how somebody wants to bring their own child up. At the same
Agreed.
breath, I'm not gonna sit here and down you because of your sexual orientation. That's not me. That's not, I have morals. And who am I to tell this next person how to live and stuff like that. So just we gotta come together when it comes to this cancel culture thing. Like, people are allowed to have difference of opinions. So
Well, perhaps maybe in the future there's room
yeah,
for an episode with someone from the LGBTQ community to come
yeah,
in and kind of have this dialogue, because neither
most
one of us
definitely.
are on
Yeah,
this stage right now. And so I feel it would be a disservice to have this conversation regarding them without one of them actually being present and able to represent themselves. So maybe
of
that's
course.
something we would talk about in the future. Do you have any questions from your comment section that you'd like to address?
So there are no comments today. Today was kind of it may have felt like a spur of the moment type thing, but just y'all got to work with us real quick with the timing. We're gonna make sure the next one is done better. Uh, with the promotion and the timing. So just work with us, and we hope to do better next time. You know.
All right. Well, that is this episode's show. You can check us out on social media on Instagram and Twitter at Elephant in the Room Podcast. Thank you for tuning in again, and we will see you all next week. Bye.
Hey,
All right,
B, we
y'all.
waiting for you next time.